You know what's genuinely unfair about money? Saving your first $10,000 is harder than going from 100,000 to 200,000. And I'm not talking about slightly harder. I mean, brutally, unfairly want to quit harder. And if you've ever tried building savings from zero, you already felt this. Even if you couldn't explain why, you skip dinners, you say no to the weekend trip, you watch every single dollar, and after months of that sacrifice, you check your balance and feel almost nothing. Like the number doesn't match the pain it took to get there. Meanwhile, someone else is adding $80,000 to their net worth this year without breaking a sweat. Their money is just doing it for them. So, what's the difference? Are they smarter, luckier? Did they just start with more? Usually, none of the above. The real answer is something most people never figure out. And once you understand it, the way you think about money will never be the same. So let's imagine two people. Both invest their money and earn a 10% return this year. Person A has $1,000 invested at 10%. They made $100. $100. That's a couple of grocery runs. It's real money, but it doesn't feel like progress. It almost feels like a joke after months of being disciplined. Now, person B has $100,000 invested. Same 10% return. They made $10,000 while sleeping without doing a single thing extra. Same percentage, same effort, completely different emotional reality. And this is the core of everything. When the numbers are small, your brain looks at the results and quietly asks the most dangerous question in personal finance. Why am I even doing this? That question is where most savings journeys die, not because of bad decisions, not because of laziness, but because the feeling of progress disappears, cries before the real momentum has a chance to build. And here's the thing, your brain doesn't run on logic. It runs on feelings. When saving feels pointless, or as your brain starts making its case for spending. Your friends are posting vacation photos. Someone at work just got a new car. Your phone is full of things you could buy right now that would feel good immediately. And that savings account you spent 4 months building, your brain has a very simple solution. Just spend it. You deserve it. You'll start again next month. This is exactly why willpower alone never works. Willpower runs out for every person, every single time. People who actually build wealth aren't the ones who suffer the most. Like they're the ones who found a way to make progress feel real before the numbers get exciting on their own. So let me show you a small mental shift that changes everything. When you check your savings, what number do you look at? Almost everyone stares at the total balance. And when that balance is $4,000 or $7,000, it just sits there. It doesn't feel alive. It doesn't feel like it's doing anything. So stop watching that number. Start watching how much your money earns for you every single month. At $5,000 invested, your money quietly generates around $33 a month on its own. You didn't work for that. You didn't trade a single hour for it. It just appeared because your money went to work while you weren't looking. At $10,000, that becomes $67 a month. At $25,000, over $160 a month. At $50,000, your money is earning more than $330 every month automatically while you just live your life. When you track that number, something clicks. Your savings stops feeling like money you're not allowed to touch. It starts feeling like an engine, one that's getting stronger every single month, quietly working on your behalf, around the clock. The total balance feels static, but the passive income, that feels alive. And that feeling is what carries you through the hardest stretch of the entire journey. Now, here's something that's going to completely reframe the way you see this. Most people never realize it. Not having savings is actually expensive. Economists call it the poverty premium. And what it basically means is being financially stretched costs you more money than being financially stable. Here's exactly how it plays out in real life. Your car breaks down, $700 repair. You don't have savings, so it goes on a credit card at 24% interest. By the time you pay it off over 6 months, that $700 became 900, maybe more. Now, someone with $10,000 saved, they pay $700 and move on with their day. Same problem, completely different outcome. Or think about rent. Without savings for a proper deposit, you're stuck with whatever landlord asks for the least upfront, and those places almost always cost more per month. But with savings, you have options. You can negotiate. You can choose. This is the trap. No savings means everything costs more. Everything costing more means it's harder to save. Harder to save means you stay without savings. It's a loop. And from the inside, it's brutal. But $10,000 breaks it. Not perfectly, not overnight, but meaningfully. Emergencies stop being catastrophes. Opportunities that were never available before suddenly become real. And options, it turns out, are the most underrated form of wealth there is. Now, here's where it gets genuinely exciting. Once you've built real momentum, let's say $50,000 invested, something remarkable starts happening. Your money is now generating about $330 every single month on its own. So if you're also saving $800 a month from your paycheck, your actual wealth building isn't $800 anymore. It's over $1,100 because your money is contributing an extra $330 that you never had to earn. At $75,000, that passive contribution is close to $500 a month. At $100,000, your portfolio is quietly earning around $670 every month while you sleep, while you work, while you live your life. You're putting in the same effort, but the results keep accelerating because the engine you built is doing more and more of the heavy lifting for you. This is what people mean when they say money makes money. It's not some exclusive club for the already wealthy. It's just math. The same math available to anyone patient enough to build the engine first. At $10,000, you're pushing the boulder uphill. At $100,000, the boulder is rolling on its own. Now, here's the part that matters most because this is exactly where most people blow it. You've been grinding. You've been saying no. You've been disciplined for months. And one day, you check your account and you see 5 figures for the very first time. And your brain says one thing immediately: I deserve a reward. And maybe you do. But here's the danger that nobody warns you about. That feeling quietly becomes lifestyle inflation, and it kills more wealth building journeys than any market crash ever has. As your income grows, your expenses grow right alongside it. A slightly nicer apartment, a newer car, more dinners out. Each choice feels completely reasonable on its own, but together, they raise the floor of what you need to feel comfortable, and that floor almost never comes back down. Psychologists call it the hedonic treadmill. You upgrade, you adapt, it becomes your new normal price, and then you need even more to feel satisfied. It's a moving target, and it quietly keeps wealth just out of reach. And as there, even for people earning really good money, people who actually break through learned to ask a different question before every big purchase. Not, can I afford this? But is this worth delaying my freedom? Because that $400 a month car upgrade isn't just $400 a month. Compounded over 20 years, that one decision could cost you $250,000 in future wealth. When you see it that clearly, the shiny new car starts looking a lot less appealing. All right, let's make this practical. 3 things that actually work. Number 1, automate before you can spend it. Set up an automatic transfer on payday before you even see the money. Every time you decide to save, you're burning willpower. So remove the decision entirely. Pay yourself first, automatically, and let your brain adjust to whatever is left. Number 2, make one big decision instead of 100 small ones. Skipping your morning coffee saves maybe $1,000 a year, but fixing one big expense, a car payment, an oversized apartment, an unused subscription pile, can save you $400 a month or more. One structural decision beats 1,000 tiny sacrifices every time. And number three, protect the foundation. When you first hit $10,000, the most dangerous moment is right in front of you. The urge to finally breathe, to loosen up, to reward yourself. And I get it, you've earned that feeling. But don't blow up the launch pad. The momentum that's coming only arrives if you let that foundation compound. Here's what I really want you to take away from this. Every single person who has built real wealth walked the same brutal first mile you might be walking right now. The same low balances, the same slow progress, the same voice in their head saying, "This isn't working. Just spend it. Start over later." Every one of them felt that. The difference is they understood something simple. The beginning is supposed to feel hard, not because you're doing it wrong, but because you're in the hardest part of a process, race that genuinely gets easier, that builds on itself, that eventually reaches a point where that is like where the money works harder than you do. That point is real. It's not a fantasy. It's not just for other people. It's just math. Patient, quiet, powerful math. But it starts with getting through the first $10,000, not because that number is magic, but because getting there proves something about yourself that no paycheck ever can. It proves you're the kind of person who does hard things now for a life that feels easy later. And that is the foundation everything else is built on. If this hit different, subscribe, because this is exactly what we do here. And share this with someone who's stuck in the hard part right now, because chances are they don't even know why. See you in the next one.